Continuing our review of this dual passage from reading comprehension and LSAT 2 concerned with some science information. Once again, we're going to treat question 9 as another hidden main idea question. We are not going to hunt and peck. We're instead going to rely on the highlights that we have set up so far from our read up front of this passage in one of our other videos. But if you're viewing this video for the first time, you can see that without even getting into the details, we can address and determine which both passage A and B do without getting bogged down in the details. So we will just begin reading at the top of our highlights. Charles Darwin is a sterling example of someone who understood the essential tension in science between commitment to the well-established theories and explanations that constitute the scientific status quo and willingness to explore and accept new and sometimes strange ideas. It is this tension that underlies the understanding of the history of science as a series of paradigm shifts, in which a set of ideas and theories becomes well established and widely accepted over time, only to be quickly overturned and replaced by a radically new set of ideas and theories. Three characteristics of Darwin's intellect and personality mark him as a scientist who found the right balance in this essential tension, a balance that helped him accomplish a major paradigm shift. Scientists need to exhibit at least three modes of thought: curious, creative, and critical. A and T, and we're just shorthanding their names because unfortunately we don't necessarily care who they are explicitly, and I don't want to waste time trying to pronounce their names. So we just say A and T have been curious in examining strange patterns found in their early observations. They have been creative in trying to devise an interpretation of their results, and they have been critical of their own work by seeking new observations and encouraging others to make independent observations. However, the astrophysics community has, by and large, applied only the critical mode of thought to the same problem. There have been some attempts to reproduce ARP and TIFF's results with mixed success, but the general attitude has been it cannot happen, therefore it does not happen, instead of the more open, if it does happen, it can happen. As a result, and we don't have to read that unhighlighted sentence actually, so we'll just stop right there. That's the sort of thing that you can actually catch yourself doing if you get a little bit ahead of yourself. But looking at our answer choices now, offer a general view on the nature of scientific thinking. Well, we really did capture that in those highlights, right? So I'd highlight the nature of scientific thinking, and I'm probably going to proactively select A, but we always have to check all of the other answer choices as well. Focus on the reaction of the scientific community to a particular theory. Believe it or not, we never actually mentioned the theory of evolution in passage A. It would require outside knowledge for us to choose B, but it's a really easy logical leap to make if you don't catch yourself sticking to what's in the text explicitly. Then criticize the attitude of the scientific community. Again, they're not criticizing anyone specifically, or any group specifically, so we can eliminate choice C for that reason. Mention the volume of a scientist's correspondence. Again, if you read this full passage up front in one of our other videos or just on your own, you'll remember that we do in one of these two passages mention the volume of a scientist's correspondence. But it's not in both, and it's a trap. And it's a trap that you'll walk into if you go reread needlessly. And lastly, choice E, refer to a specific view of the history of science. Well, we're not talking about the entire history of science in any of these passages, just more specifically the idea of like scientific inquiry and building upon a history of theory with new thought. So we can eliminate choice E, and you can once again see how by focusing solely on your main idea highlighted sentences, you could turn what could become a really time-consuming hunt and peck kind of detail question if you misapply our approach into a hidden main idea question that didn't even really require rereading anything except those highlighted sentences.